So on a whim the other day, I decided to record a video on the game MORDHAU. You've probably heard of it. This game was popping back in like the 2016. Harambe was still kicking it, being a king, and I decided, you know what? Let's pick up the old poleaxe and give it a shot. Surprise, surprise, everybody in the comment section was very supportive, man. They loved it. I was blown away, performed better than almost all of my other videos. One thing though, the yin to my yang, everybody in the comment section was like,
"Oh, it's so great to see a beginner having fun with this game. I love to see that there's still newbies playing this game."
I have 150 hours into this game. Now, I know that's not crazy. Some of those guys, I'm sure, have more hours in the game than they do with their family. After I cried myself to sleep a few nights in a row, I decided, you know what? They're right. Let's give the people what they want. So this video is in the perspective of a beginner to the game MORDHAU and a roadmap how to get a little better, but apparently not that good. Still love you guys. Thank you so much for commenting. So a quick refresher for those of you who don't know what MORDHAU is. MORDHAU is an online medieval combat game. It has a wildly dedicated fan base, and the game refuses to die. In-game chat functions and quips are hilarious. The combat is really fun. YouTube thumbnails are another world, man. The shit is wild. So the first time you open up this game, you're going to be greeted with a tutorial. It seems fairly straightforward. You learn how to strike, kick, block, parry, a few other combinations of attacks, and you'll get this false sense of confidence that you're like, man, this game is easy as hell. Once you finish the tutorial, you're going to take that false sense of confidence and dive headfirst in one of their online maps. You're going to be greeted with absolute chaos. There's so much information coming at you that by the time you get a chance to process it, your head is now separated from your body. Then, promptly after you respawn on that, you're going to have a quick flashback to the tutorial and forget everything except for striking and maybe blocking, if you're lucky. You'll proceed to play a couple of rounds and then realize, you know what? You're in over your head. And brother, your head is no longer on your body. But here's the catch. MORDHAU is a lot like Pirates of the Caribbean. Once you're a part of the ship, baby, you're part of the crew. So that leaves you with one option, and that option is to get better. So I know what you're thinking, right?
What do I do to get better?
I'm glad you asked. Here's my advice to you if you're a new player. Play Horde. It is all NPC based that slowly builds up as each wave goes by. So you're going to start at the very basics, using your fist, and then working up to whatever weapon you choose. So you get the experience of using many different weapons, and also dealing with tougher and tougher enemies. Here's the deal, man. If you can't 1v1 an NPC, there's no shot you're going to 1v1 an actual person. If you're going 1v1 against a new player as a beginner, this is like going up against the god-devouring serpent in Elden Ring. And you don't have the blaster sword. It's going to be quick, humiliating, and real ugly. So once you dive into your first round of Horde, you're going to realize that it's set up in a very interesting way. Each wave gets progressively more difficult. The nice part about that, though, is as you go throughout these rounds, you build up points where you can purchase weapons. So not only are you getting to deal with easy to hard opponents, you're also going to be able to upgrade your weapons and use whatever weapon you want in the game. The other nice part is you're not going to spend 90% of your time respawning, because if you even have a half-competent teammate, he's likely going to revive you the second you get knocked down, and believe me, you will. Also, as a bonus, you're going to get lifelong trauma from this little bastard and this big bastard.
I'm chaotic. Once I'm done just chopping heads off all these NPCs, where do I go next?
Well, whippersnapper, take it from me, a MORDHAU mongrel. You're still terrible. This is very similar to prison in the sense that you gotta take your punishment and do your time. So here's the deal. You now have two options. You have the Weenie Hut Jr. method or the sadistic method. So for all my goofy goobers out there, option one, the Weenie Hut Jr. method, is diving right into invasion. This is a large-scale team battle, so you have the reds versus the blues. You don't necessarily get your skills tested in a 1v1 situation, albeit it can happen, but you get the opportunity to snake your teammates' kills. But that's not necessarily going to refine your skills, so that's why it's the Weenie Hut Jr. method. To do a quick callback to my prison analogy, you will find yourself in a situation where you're getting chased down and there's a bunch of dudes who want to impale you. Now, invasion isn't going to test your skills like a 1v1 situation will. It just won't. You're going to have a couple opportunities, but you're not going to have the reps that you need. So for you sadistic monsters out there, you know, the guys who go to the gym, put on their headphones, and just listen to nails on a chalkboard for 10 hours straight. Oh, who am I kidding? Nobody who plays MORDHAU goes to the gym. 1v1 servers. That was super weird. This shit'll put hair on your chest, man. But here's the catch to it. This is where the humiliation comes into play. You're gonna die a lot. I know I'm laying it on heavy that there's this pretty difficult learning curve, and you're probably going to go up against somebody who has a level higher than they can actually count, but it is incredibly rewarding when you do successfully execute a skill that you're trying to learn. You're going to feel like the biggest guy in the room. Now that I gave you some options and kind of defined the hero's journey of a MORDHAU mongrel, let's talk about specific skills that will come in handy. So first off, you need to learn how to use the scroll wheel attack. Right? You have a little dot in the middle and a little arrow that goes around whichever way you're pointing. You need to learn how to manipulate that, because the first probably 135 hours that I played this game, I had no idea that that changed the direction, man. I just swung and hoped for the best. So if you can figure out how to use that, that'll help you immeasurably. Next up, arguably more important, would be blocking. You need to learn how to block, because if you can block a shot and waste this man's stamina, you're going to do absolutely way better than if you're just spamming attacks and getting hit the whole time. Speaking of stamina management is absolutely vital. This is a fault that I have where I just decide to take the Michael Jordan strat, and anytime I get flustered, I'm just jumping, which is absolutely eating away at my stamina. So if you can manage that and outlast your opponent, you're gonna get a stellar advantage. This is where we kind of break off into some more advanced tactics. You need to learn how to parry, how to fake, and how to duck. Parrying is when somebody goes to hit you, you block it, and then immediately go into attack. The next up, which I would say is arguably the easiest way to get kills and get hits on net, is if you can learn how to fake somebody out, they have a cooldown on their block. So that's when you go to throw a shot, you fake it, and you bring it back. So you cancel the attack and then switch to the other side. If you get them to go for that block, man, you got them every single time. And lastly, ducking. Ducking sounds like it would be super easy, right? I mean, all you're doing is crouching. Wrong! I made a video recently about these skills in MORDHAU, and ducking was by far the hardest possible thing. If you learn to duck, you will be a beast when it comes to combat. You just have to make sure that when you crouch down, you duck your head forward. It took me forever to get that, and then once I did, I was a god, and not a beginner like all you little bastards said on my last video. This is unfortunately where my skill repertoire starts to dwindle a bit. But one thing I've noticed from those absolute MORDHAU just cretins, those just degenerates out there who have a level that's in the 3 digits, these guys do everything super fast. Like doing the same thing you are, they're just doing it like they're on meth. Do things efficient and fast. Don't let the learning curve deter you from playing the game. Honestly, for me, when it comes to playing MORDHAU, the winning and losing portion of the game, I could care less about. I mean, it's exciting to get somebody, but what I truly love are the death animations. Absolutely hilarious. The communication, whether it's using the taunts or the emotes, the best. From the combat, to the communication, to the maps, to everything you can do, the game is an interactive meme. And as mentally unstable as the community behind MORDHAU is, they are some of the most positive, helpful people ever. It's great to see a community that supports others, whether you're garbage or an absolute champion. So if you want to see what it takes to become a MORDHAU mongrel with all these skills applied, check out this video here. If I see another person saying that I'm a beginner, it's done. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.